Hello everyone, my name is Matthew, and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome to Lesson 60 of Hebrew Basics, a series where we learn the essentials of Hebrew grammar. Today, we're going to be finishing up our studies of the Pual binyan by learning some roots that will cause it to be formed irregularly. Let's start with roots ending with ain or chet. These roots are irregular in only one form of the Pual, the feminine singular form of the present tense. Let's say the spoon is one. The spoon is hakaf, which is a feminine noun. The verb is one will be from the root nun tsari chet. In the active piel binyan, this root has a meaning of winning. So in the passive pual, it has a meaning of being one. The verb is in the present tense, and since its subject is a feminine singular thing, the verb must also be in that form. The masculine singular form of the Pual present tense is regular. Manutzach is one. The feminine singular form is supposed to change the kamatz to a segol and add another segol with a tav. But, and we've seen this regularity in other binyanim, if the third root letter is ain or chet, these last two vowels will be patachs instead. So the verb is one is manutzachat. Hakaf manutzachat. The spoon is one. Hakaf manutzachat. This feminine singular form of the present tense of the pual will also be irregular if the last root letter is aleph. Let's learn a new root, dalet kaf aleph. In a PL infinitive, this root becomes ladake, which means to depress. In the passive pual, then, this root will have a meaning of being depressed. The masculine singular form of the present tense is regular, maduka, which we can use in a sentence like hu maduka, he is depressed. When we add the tav ending to make the feminine singular form of the present tense, if the root ends with aleph, the kamatz on the second root letter will change to a tsere, and no other vowels are added. Maduket is depressed, feminine singular. He maduket, she is depressed. Roots ending with aleph are also irregular in several forms of the pual past tense. The hu, he form is regular. Duka, he was depressed. The she and they forms are also regular. Duk'a and duk'u. She and they were depressed. However, the other forms will change the kamatz in duka to a tsere, which doesn't happen with other roots in the pual past tense. We can have duketi, I was depressed, duketa, you were depressed masculine singular, and duketen, you were depressed feminine plural, for example. If the third root letter is hey, pual verbs will have the same irregularities we see in the PL. The PL present tense, tries or try, is masculine singular manaseh, feminine singular manasa, masculine plural manasim, and feminine plural manasot. The pual present tense, is tried or are tried, is the same, but with a kibbutz instead of a patach. Manuseh, manusa, manusim, manusot. The same with the past tense. The PL nisiti means I tried, and the pual nusiti means I was tried, which changes the PL's hirik on the first root letter to a kibbutz. The future tense is also very similar between the PL and pual, as in yanaseh, he will try, and yanuseh, he will be tried. If the second letter of a root is aleph or resh, in the PL we've seen that some vowels will be irregular. The pual will also have some irregular vowels. Let's see some pual verbs from the root bet resh kaf. In the PL, this root has a meaning of blessing, so in the pual, it has a meaning of being blessed. Starting with the masculine singular form of the pual present tense, if this root was regular, the verb would be mavurach, is blessed. But because the second root letter is resh, the kibbutz that says u will change to a cholam that says o. mavorach is blessed, masculine singular. Hu mavorach, he is blessed. The other forms of the present tense can be made the same way as always, just keeping the same vowels as this irregular masculine singular form. This change from u to o also happens with the pual past and future tenses. The verb he was blessed is borach instead of borach, and the verb he will be blessed is yavorach instead of yavurach. If the second root letter is aleph, Pual verbs will have the same irregularity as with a root that has a second resh, and some of them will have additional irregularities that appear in Pual verbs whose second root letter is aleph, ain, chet, or he. Let's see some examples with the root tav, aleph, resh. In the Pual, this root means describing, so in the Pual it means being described. The verb he was described is to'ar, which has an o vowel instead of an u. To make the verb she was described, we're supposed to change the vowel on the second root letter to a schwa. But as we've seen in so many other verb forms, if the second root letter is aleph, ain, chet, or he, the vowel will be a patach schwa. Then we can add the a ending used for the he, she form of the past tense. Toara, she was described. The Pual past tense verb toaru, they were described, also will have this irregularity. A few forms of the Pual future tense do as well. Totoar, you will be described masculine singular or she will be described, can change its patach to a patach schwa and add e to make totoari, you will be described feminine singular. Adding u instead, we make totoaru, you will be described masculine plural. Finally, with a ya prefix, we have yatoaru, they will be described. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. And if you want to learn more Hebrew, please consider subscribing to my channel and checking out some of my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.